not to do a podcast tonight. I got one on Friday, but it's Tuesday, right after week 3 in the NFL. And we had an absolutely bonkers week 3. I think it was the craziest week of the NFL season. We got some teams that we're starting to wonder if they're real, like the Colts, Chargers. Got the Packers that looked like a world beater and then got beat by the funniest meme I saw was the guy who just says Cleveland Browns, Drew Allen. We're the Cleveland Browns, and we beat the Green Bay Packers. The Chicago Bears beat somebody by double digits. Matt Eberflus made Caleb Williams. He just had to go to Dallas to do it. Gotta love it. I just posted that on Twitter. I heard that. Your Carolina Panthers shut somebody out, buddy. Is the world ending? Like, what's going on?
No, we have one of these weeks like at least 2 or 3 times a year. Mm-hmm. We have it where it's just like, what the hell happened? Who competed with who? I mean, last year, my Carolina Panthers took not only the Chiefs, but the Eagles both to the fourth quarter. That's to the point where we almost beat them. So the fact that we beat the Falcons 30-0 is crazy. But at the same time, I also saw the stat that Bryce Young is now 3-1 against the Falcons. He's only got 7 wins all time.
So the majority. Are the Falcons on fraud alert? I'm starting to wonder if they don't.
I don't think the Falcons are. I think it's Michael Penix. I truly won't even give this win to my Panthers. It was a Falcons loss.
You beat them 30-0. You stopped.
No, their offense, if you go and watch it, truly just can't do anything. Michael Penix looked lost out there. I don't know what it was, but that is not the quarterback we've seen at all. Maybe he's just having a bad day. But if that game happens again, I'm willing to bet that we can't score anywhere close to it, because when it comes to offensive scores, it's not like Bryce Young was out there throwing dots like 3 touchdowns. It was a lot of defensive stuff. A 57-yard kick by the undrafted free agent kicker. Chuba Hubbard had a 17 for 73. It's not like nobody broke open in this game.
No, but Jean played well. They probably should have just kept feeding him. He averaged 5.5, but game script took him out of it. But honestly, he might have been better off just running him than throwing Penix out there. But okay, so you're right. It was one of those weeks the Rams had to snap the Eagles into waking up. They're up 26-7, and then the Eagles go on a 26-0 run in the second half. Woke the heck up against, honestly, I think the Rams are a fringe contender. I mean, maybe a possible contender. I think there's 4 or 5 teams in the NFC, and they're one of them for sure.
For sure.
I don't see anybody. I mean, the Bucks, maybe Packers, Lions, and the Eagles. I don't see any. The Commanders are. I don't think they're it.
I don't think the Bucks are in it either. There's too many injuries to the offensive line. The offense just lost Mike Evans as well. Egbuka's dealing with a groin still, and regardless of what he can do out there, all 3 of their wide receivers are hurt. Chris Godwin.
They're like the 49ers. They're banged up to hell, and they're 3-0.
Yeah, and the 49ers are getting ready to lose here soon. It wouldn't surprise me if Arizona beats them this week. They're truly on watch as well. Even though 3-0, when I really thought that they could rebound, you lose Kittle, you lose Brock Purdy, you already lost Ayuk, you lose Juwan Jennings. You're literally a Christian McCaffrey injury away. And not just that, their backup quarterback, Mac Jones, is hurt now too.
The Cardinals they just played them. The 49ers 1-1. That's play.
Right. Who's the next one then?
The next one is week 4. They played, I think did they play Seattle? Let me see.
If they're playing Seattle
plays Arizona this week. San Fran plays Jacksonville.
Jacksonville should win that game.
Jacksonville's defense has been low-key pretty good, dude.
They really have.
Seattle's. I picked them up in fantasy because they've been good. Hi.
To be honest,
dog is saying hi.
Jacksonville and Houston are the same team right now.
I didn't know she was going to say hi for a podcast, but I just did one, so she's tired of it. She's like,
"Oh, that's okay."
She's
so cute.
Yeah, she's really nice.
Mine are mad too. I've been doing so much editing and everything in here. My wife's in Florida, so she's down there. So the dogs have just been chilling with me. And yesterday they didn't do anything because it was raining.
She's right after these, because these will be short. I'll watch a movie and cuddle up with her. We just went on a walk, so she got fed. Now she just wants her loves. So, okay. Quickly, the Packer game I chalk up to
Jordan Love lost that game.
Pull it down. I think the offensive line lost the game. I don't put any of it on the defense. I put it on Jordan Love. I put it on Matt LaFleur. Coaching scared. It's like Sean McVay. You don't coach scared. Love can't make that pick. They've got to get some run blocking. They couldn't block for Love, and he didn't make any plays. He's down a couple weapons, but I got to see it. I do. We said this early in the season. I really wish he had a number one. Golden may end up being it. Kraft is the closest thing he's got, and he played hurt.
I honestly don't think Golden's it. I thought he might have been able to be it. I thought he might be able to go out there and put his stamp like a Mecca did, like Tetaroa has done.
Yeah.
But I genuinely think that Golden could be another really high wide receiver too, another Jaden Reed, another one of those guys that was like, man, no offense, we bought into, not only we, but like everybody bought into the hype of Texas. And now we're just seeing, man, maybe Matthew Golden's just crazy fast. And yes, he does have skills, but like you're saying, you need the offensive line to hold up to be able to get those balls downfield. You need him to be able to stay healthy. He's constantly on the injury report. Even though he's played a little bit, he's always on the injury report. So yeah, I just don't feel like you guys have made the right decision when it comes to offense. At this point, I wouldn't pay Christian Watson. I wouldn't pay anybody really.
And they extended Watson for one more year to see what he's got. But it was only 13 mil, so it was.
That's fine. 1 year's fine, but I'm not going to give him a 5 year or anything like that. There's nobody in this wide receiver core outside of Tucker Kraft that I even want to keep right now.
Yeah, that's where I'm at too. Like, I want to see if Jaden Reed, but he just broke his collarbone, so he's going to be out for a few weeks.
Yeah.
Dubs, hey, go lay down.
I mean, are the Packers really wanting to contend? And if so, do they make the Hail Mary offer?
That's what I'm wondering. Do they
Matthew
go for
Golden for AJ Brown?
Oh God. If the Eagles were dumb enough to give us AJ Brown, see, that's the difference. Here's what's frustrating. Caleb Williams has Roma Dunze, Luther Burden, DJ Moore. Not that he's used him much. Cole Kmet, Christopher Loveland. I know Swift is no Josh Jacobs. I get it. But those receivers are ridiculous. Look at Minnesota. You got Justin Jefferson and TJ Hawkinson and Addison when he comes back. The Lions have Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams ascending. You got Isaac Tesla now, and Sam Laporta and Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. The weapons stuff is getting frustrating with the Packers. I love that we've stacked our defense, and it legit looks like a top 5 unit. Even last week, it did. The Browns offense didn't do anything, if you watch the game.
Do you want me to tell you my criticism of where I feel like you guys are going wrong? You guys are going for the demons, the speed demons. You know what the Lions did? They went out and got big Amon-Ra. Isaac Tesla's huge, 6'4". Jameson Williams, 6'4". So you guys just got to stop going for this. Hey man, I need
short guy.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it makes sense in it with a guy like Justin Jefferson, but he's still 6'1". It makes sense for a guy like Jordan Addison because again, these guys produce at insane levels.
They have the vertical though to win the jump balls. Our guys don't. Like they've got like a 34-inch vertical. They ain't winning a jump ball. The only big guy we have is Watson. He's hurt. And Savion, who looks like a gadget, they're only using him in gadget plays.
Correct. And I feel like you guys are missing the big wide receivers. That's what Devontae Adams was. And to be honest, that's what like Carolina has just found out with Tetaroa. Having that big dynamic wide receiver. We're even seeing now that our former first round wide receiver Xavier Legette, 6'1". He's got insane 4.3, I think it's 4.39 speed or something like that, the whole bit. He's literally being passed up for an undrafted free agent named Bryson Tremaine, who's 6'4", who can just go out there and block. Like that's what you need.
Yeah. It's funny how this stuff works, but I agree with you. Like Med said it too. I think Golden would fit in well with a bigger guy. Like give me somebody with size. If the Bengals were willing to part with T. Higgins, they just signed him, so I highly, highly doubt it.
No,
and I don't want Tyreek Hill. No thanks.
No, I think Tyreek has a chance to go back to KC, and if he's going back to KC, I think he's going there in an Xavier-worthy trade.
Probably.
I think that they're kind of like, ooh, man, maybe I'm a little bit concerned about this. Let's get Tyreek Hill. Because they're going to want a lot of stuff back, or if they just give up Worthy. That might be enough for them to just be like, oh, you're basically giving us the future Tyreek Hill? Okay, we'll take that. Like,
if the Chiefs were smart, they would just forfeit picks or Rice, honestly, at this point, and just jump ship.
No way. Rashee Rice is way too big or way too good.
When he's healthy, yeah, but he's been a mess. But the Packers need a guy that can win that's a route runner. Like right now, what's ticking me off about Brian Thomas Jr. is he's not running any – he's got a wrist injury, but he's only running 2 routes. It's kind of killing – and he's got Trevor Lawrence as his quarterback, so it's kind of killing his fantasy value. I've got him in Dynasty, and it sucks. Yep. So, my other takeaways were this weekend, I agree with you on the Packers. I'm hoping they get smart. They just took a big swing on Micah. I know your big swing. I know who your big swing could be.
Somebody
I'd
who's
be
already
down with-
been rumored.
I'd be done with T. Higgins. I just don't think they're going to do it.
No. Garrett Wilson.
Done. Sold.
I think Garrett Wilson could be had, but you would have to give up like your 2026 first round pick. I would give up like Jaden Reed.
You know what's funny
or
is he's
whatever.
the same. Garrett Wilson is the same freaking size as those other guys, but he's such a good route runner. I think he'd be fine. He's 6 feet 180. He's the same mold as Matthew Golden, but if Christian Watson could ever get healthy, then you've got the big guy. And I still think Savion could carve out a role, but I don't know if he's got the route running is so important in the NFL. You can get a guy that can run a 4.29.
Yep.
But if all he can do is run straight down the field, you got a problem.
Correct.
Love is a solid quarterback, but if we want to see if he's what he's shown flashes of, or if he's more mid, we need to get the right weapons in there to find out. These guys wouldn't even be the number 3 receivers on the other teams in the NFC North.
I agree, but there could also be a shift. Maybe you guys go more 12 personnel, run Kraft and run everybody that way.
That might be the way to go.
Run the ball a ton and then just have Jordan Love make 18 throws a game.
If they could get the run blocking going, but they have not created any openings for Jacobs. The offense has been, honestly, the running game's been almost non-existent the first 3 weeks. Love looked pretty good the first 2 games, but you played a good defense on the road and you can't play with your food in the NFL. Like, you just can't do it. You can't play a team that needs a win, that's desperate at home, that has a good defense, and expect to sleepwalk through the game. This was a good learning lesson for Packers fans. I said it on the show. Do not overlook this team. I kind of did don't overlook anybody. The Panthers just showed the Falcons. Don't do it. This is not college football. You can't do it.
Yeah, but at the same time, in both instances, I feel like it was truly like, again, in the Falcons game, it was them, the offense really just giving it up. The offense could not get anything going. Michael Penix couldn't catch a cold in a windstorm. And I feel like that's what it was with Love. Like, he couldn't get over that one hump. It was like, oh my God, he just sailed the ball just a little bit too far on this, or just a little short on this.
He was getting pressured so much. I think he saw ghosts by the end of the game, and he just made a bad decision, which we've seen him do before. And I'm hoping he learns from it, because you can't make that throw. Absolutely. It was one bad decision, and you can't do it.
Oh, the if you want to go look at a funny one, go look at the Michael Penix one that he throws laterally. It's horrible. No quarterback should ever make that throw.
I don't think this. I gotta be honest, man. I don't think Michael Penix is it. I know CJ Stroud has the worst offensive line in the league, but he has regressed so heavily. If they don't fix the O-line, Stroud may end up being broken. The O-line there is so bad, and the running game, even if Marks is decent, that offensive line is so trash that it's literally derailing their team. It's really crazy that with that defense it is.
I agree, but I feel like that's the adage of what everybody had forever. I think people forget, because we went through the Alabama, Mac Jones, Tua, Bryce Young, and that Jalen Hurts, that little dynasty basically from Alabama. There was a trope forever. Do not take an Alabama quarterback. Do not take an Ohio State quarterback. Do not take these high-end quarterbacks, the Georgia quarterbacks, because they're used to having the best stuff around them. And we're seeing that happen and come back and rear its ugly head. Bryce Young can't get it done. Just because you played at a big school doesn't make you the best quarterback in the league. We saw a guy like Joe Burrow come in 1 year and completely change LSU, but that was a different story. He literally was able to go out there and prove it. Not only that, he came into the NFL and immediately day one showed you that he was the guy. And no offense, has continued to show that. Whereas some of these other guys, like even Stroud, I was a big Stroud guy, but you're right. He is used to being behind a decent offensive line. He's being able to dish the ball in a way where he's not pressured. Bryce Young can't do that anymore. Jalen Hurts can. That's why Jalen Hurts still looks pretty good. Jalen Hurts is behind the best offensive line.
And when you ask, even with Lane Johnson out, when you ask more of him, I love that he's got a number one that can make the play. Tucker Kraft could be that for the Packers, but I wish they had a guy that could make a play. It's really nice to have it. You need it in the playoffs. The reason the Chiefs are not the same Chiefs is in a large part because Kelsey is not the same Kelsey.
Correct.
And Rice is out, and Worthy's really small and still learning. And they don't have a running game, so you don't have that Kelsey anymore to mask losing the Tyreek Hill. Because honestly, Kelsey is still out there, but he's just not the same. He's not the same.
He's not even close. He's a Swift now. He's done with football.
Yeah, pretty much. I was impressed with the Eagles. We talked about that one. That was a bananas comeback.
The Eagles are still the best team in football by leaps and bounds. The only one close is the Detroit Lions.
You know what's funny? We're gonna hit in my next video, but I actually had the Lions at 5, out of respect, even though they beat up on the Ravens, because the Packers took it to them. I had the Packers at 4. I had the Chargers all the way up at 3, even though they squeaked out that win against Denver. I like what I'm seeing there with Jim Harbaugh. I had the Bills at 1 because what the Eagles are doing reminds me of last year's Chiefs, where they're doing enough to win, but marginally. But they're going to keep winning, which is annoying.
Correct.
They'll probably win 15 games. The Bills, what scares me with them is their defense. I wonder if the Bills play the Eagles right now, who would win? Like,
I would probably go Bills, just because the Eagles look like they're going to take a little bit to get going. My concern with that is it depends on which Eagles team we're getting. If we're getting the one that's going to be struggling, or if we're going to get the one where they're pinning their ears back and, we get another Super Bowl performance. Because if that happens, nobody can beat them. They're the best team in football if that's the case. But it just depends on what defense you're getting. And again, it also takes, your main guy not spitting on somebody. So even though that wasn't this week, but still.
I got to ask you about the Ravens too. Do you buy into their issues? Because I do.
Absolutely.
I think
they just played themselves out of a championship.
Yeah, I don't think Harbaugh's the coach, and I don't think that they have the defense, even though they should.
I think it's an indictment also on Lamar. Lamar
and Henry
consistently just can't get it done. He's a top 5 quarterback, especially if you want to talk about fantasy. If you want to talk about in the NFL, again, top 5 every year. He's going to continually compete for that no matter what. But whether or not he can actually get over the hump is something else. We saw that with greats, though. We've seen that with guys like Dan Marino, guys that can go out there and compete at a high level. Shoot, I'm a Panthers guy. We got Andy Dalton. The Red Rifle competed at a high level for a very long time. There's a lot of ways where you could compete and win games, but you're just not that guy. That's why I said that I
think Josh Allen is. He's not.
I don't think Josh Allen is. I think that with everything around Josh Allen, he can. Just like Jordan Love. I don't think he is. I think with everything around him, he can.
It's kind of like Hurts. Like, even though Hurts steps up in the biggest moments, he doesn't have to do a lot. And frankly, isn't probably one of the 3 or 4 best QBs, but he's good enough and he does what he needs to in the right moments.
Correct.
It's kind of special. It's
Tom Brady.
It's like Terry. Yeah. It reminds me a little more even like Terry Bradshaw, where he saved some of his best games for the Super Bowl. And then if you look at his stats, he was dog shit. A lot of those regular seasons, but he was carried by a really good running NFL history. Not one of the best running backs, one of the best running games with the offensive line and a steel curtain D. But Bradshaw, in some of his Super Bowls, he had 4 touchdowns. He didn't throw 4 touchdowns the whole season, or in many games in his career, and saved it for the Super Bowl. It's crazy.
Yeah,
but now, Brady was similar too.
Now, when you're looking at it, though, I feel like he is what the offense needs. Jalen Hurts, if you need him to be 400 yards and 4 touchdowns, he can give you that. But you're going to have to play a very specific type of offense. How they want to play is go out there, go get the quarterback, stop the run, and try and force them to throw the ball. I mean, no offense, they're secondary. I saw somebody earlier say, they should go out and get another secondary player. I think they have, Cooper DeJean, Quinyon Mitchell. I mean, they've got guys out there.
They drafted Makuba second round.
Makuba. He had that pick in I think it was the first game or the second game. So they have guys for sure.
I think it was second. I think second.
Oh, was it the second? Okay. But I just think that he gives you exactly what you need. He's not going to go out there. He's not a stats guy. He's not Burrow. Burrow literally drags the Bengals to wins. Jalen Hurts helps them to wins. We don't see him throwing a whole lot of picks. Obviously, sometimes when he's asked to do a lot, he throws picks. But that's what you expect out of a guy that, no offense, is not the driver of the offense. He's more of just a cog in the wheel.
He's the point guard.
Yeah, he's a good one, though. Really good. Honestly,
he's like a Chris Paul. He doesn't throw
everybody
a lot of points, but a lot of
coming
assists.
out. Yeah, even myself doubting him, I don't know why I did. But at the same time, I also caution myself because I feel like Philly is so good. Is it just what Philly has and it's not Jalen Hurts?
That's what I wonder. Although he's
could I drop Trevor Lawrence in there? And could Trevor Lawrence do it?
No, because the tush push, I think one of the only other guys that could do that is Josh Allen. I
No,
don't know
the
who else can
offensive
do the
line is
tush
good
push.
enough that now they would, because again, I think they're going to ban the tush push now. I think the public
Yeah.
scrutiny, because it started once they, it happened like what, 2 months ago when they had the original hearing and everything like that with Goodell and everything, where they were trying to get votes together. They realized weren't going to have the vote, so they were like, oh no. So then they shelved the official vote, which means it's still coming back up. Then, of course, they send out all their media goons to start changing the narrative. And now we see them starting to look back at all the plays and be like, oh, they're jumping off sides and everything. So what I think is going to happen is
It's gonna
they're
get
going
banned.
to ban the tush push. But you know how
Yeah.
you solve that? You just don't push him. You do the
Yeah.
exact same play, just
a
without
quarterback sneak.
anybody
A
pushing
quarterback sneak.
Jalen Hurts.
What a quarterback sneak was.
Yes.
Which
And
is
that's-
fine, honestly, because they used to ban this play, and I don't love it. It's a rugby play. Like, it's kind
I
of fun.
don't-
I'm an Eagle fan, but like,
I can't hate on it
the
because it's
NFL's
a
the NFL's
football.
gonna.
It's a football thing. Like, I understand it looks like a rugby thing, but if that's the case on any play, we could look at it. Any run play where everybody ends up in the middle, that could be a rugby play.
I'd be fine with it if guys on both sides weren't jumping. Like, if they could find a way to officiate it, leave it. But it is a little. That is the narrative now, but it sucks when I see it. I don't know. Like, also,
I
just
agree
stop
with
the
you.
damn. Just stop the damn play. But it's fucking near impossible. Sorry, freaking near impossible to stop. So
No, and that's the hard part. Like, you want to officiate it the right way, but then if they want to slow down every play, like, no
What are you
offense, you're
gonna
going to find stuff. It's going to be like, once you start looking, you're going to find what you're seeking. So I think it's a very slippery slope at the same time. So do I want them to get rid of it? No, but at the same time, they will.
Yeah.
There's just other ways around it. They'll be able to execute the play at a high level.
Mhm.
They're still going to be able to get basically that free 1 yard. They're not going to be able to get that free 2-3 yards. But I definitely think that it's something to watch out in the future.
I agree. All right, I got a couple more, and then I want to hit our other videos that we're gonna make. We got. Do the Broncos have a problem? Because
Yes.
I think like Bo Nix has regressed a little.
He's
Franklin had a
regressed
couple.
a lot.
Yeah, he really has, and it's the second season thing is real. People get tape on guys. People forget that. It's a legit, like, there's a reason they usually get better the third year, because then you can kind of counter what the defenses are throwing at you. Because you get that whole offseason to counter their counter. It's a chess move. But I don't like what I'm seeing from him. I don't love their offense. Their defense, I was talking to somebody at work about this, and I think I love the guy, but I think he got it wrong. The defense has played mostly great. It's kind of like my Packer game. The defense, somebody said the defense was bad. I was like, when?
Yeah.
Love threw a pick. They got the ball the midfield, had to drive half the field off of a turnover. They had momentum. And then we had a field goal blocked. They got it all the way to the 47-yard line. They only needed, I believe, 15 yards because they kicked a 55-yard field goal. So if I'm right, 15, 16 yards. I'm pretty sure I'm right. That's one pass, two passes. The defense only gave up 3 points of their own and then gave up one touchdown with really bad field position. Not that bad. And yes, that wasn't great, but it was late in the fourth quarter. It is hard to keep a team out of the end zone the whole game, especially when your offense doesn't bail you out and you're on the field a bunch.
I couldn't agree more.
When it's punt, you're not getting a rest. So
nope. I agree with you. And I feel like I feel like that was a great conclusion for you to draw. The Packers and Denver are pretty intertwined in that both of their defenses are playing not only lights out, but it's just their quarterback that's the issue. I mean, Bo Nix, 5 touchdowns, 3 picks. He's only taken 3 sacks. I was going to go to the thing like, oh man, maybe he's taken 10 sacks, 12 sacks already in 3 games. 3 sacks in 3 games, and he only has an 83.4 rating. That's not good enough. Like, he's just not getting the ball either there on time or whatnot. I haven't watched a whole lot of Broncos games, but at a 64.2% completion rate, that's not the best. Like, to be honest, you should be pushing 70. That's what he was trying to push last year. So Bo Nix has absolutely regressed.
Love's been sacked 7 times. He has 5 touchdowns, only 1 pick on the year, 68% completion, 663 yards. Not a ton of yards, but the game scripts the first couple games didn't call for it. This was that game we needed him to step up. I agree with you. And the running game and the offense all together just laid a freaking goose egg, man.
That's the problem. You need guys like you. The Packers
We need ceiling raisers. We need a ceiling raiser. He needs to not be. You
I
can't
agree.
drag the team to the floor.
And not just that, but it needs to be just consistent. The problem is just not being able to
Yes.
get those simple yards. You guys have Tucker Kraft. You guys have these great pieces. Yes, the offensive line could use some help, but that's not going to be able to be addressed till the offseason. So they just got to start figuring out whether or not that's the adjustment to 12 personnel or
probably because we've got 2 guys hurt, and then 2 went out on Sunday, and I think we already had 1 hurt. So we have 2 or 3 linemen out. And when that happens, it sucks. That happened to the Vikings, and somehow they just destroyed the Bengals' will to play. I think that was losing Joe Burrow too, honestly. But somehow Carson Wentz. This was the weirdest Sunday. It happens though.
It is, but I think that KOC room is just special. Whatever quarterback they drop in there is going to work, kind of like with Shanahan for the most part.
This is when I'm starting to question, and I don't want him to get fired or anything, but this is when I do start to question a little bit on Matt LaFleur. I didn't mean for this to be so Packer focused, but I want to see that consistency. Some of that's a lot on Jordan Love, but this is one of those games I feel like if LaFleur should have been able to as good as the Browns D is, they were 15th coming in. It's only 2 games. And they're at home. I know they've got some good players. You should have been able to find a way to get more than 10 points on them. And that's happened in the playoffs with Rodgers before too. And I put a lot of that on Rodgers, but some of that's got to fall on the floor. He's a good regular season coach, but I'm I'm starting to get to a point with this guy where I'm like, damn, bro, you can't script up one drive, just one to win the game.
I think it's also execution, though. It's kind of like what Carolina's going through with Bryce Young. You can draw up the game plan all you want. Or like Ben Johnson with the Bears. We saw him literally getting so mad on the sidelines because he just wants him to be able to hit him in the hands. And that's the problem at times with Jordan Love. He hits them above the hands. He's throwing it through guys. And, maybe it doesn't need that much mustard for a 10-yard pass. But at the same time, it's also, like you said before, maybe he's seeing ghosts. Maybe when he's going out there, he's being sped up mentally or something like that. That's making him being forced to go through his progressions.
The pressure rate was 45% this game. So I think that's what killed him this game. The previous 2 games, they got points when they needed to. So it's something I'm going to keep an eye on because I think it's part Love, part the coach, part off the damn receivers. They're not dropping passes, but nobody's getting open consistently other than Tucker Kraft. And Jacobs isn't creating, there's no running lanes being created. So you're running low on options.
Correct.
So yeah, we're going to find out. But the other thing I saw this weekend that was interesting, other than the Cowboys not having a defense, was we talked about it. That Lions team seems to have awoken. I'm curious how good they are. I really love that they woke up from that opening game beating because it was a beatdown.
Yeah.
They were down 21 in the 4th. We smacked them around. I still think they're going to struggle at moments, but they're starting to if the ceiling of this team is what they just did against the Ravens on the road, then you got to include them as a contender in the NFC. We're going to talk about our next video, but I'm impressed with Dan Campbell that even without both his coordinators, down a couple linemen, that they have too much talent. He was like, we are going to lay the smack down now.
Yeah, it's perfectly summed up in the quote that we heard from, I think it was Dan Campbell when he was talking about Ben Johnson, when he's like, Ben Johnson is good at calling plays, but he doesn't have Jahmyr Gibbs. He doesn't have a David Montgomery. He doesn't have a Penei Sewell. He doesn't have these dynamic players. So as much as they're calling the plays and everything like that, these guys truly just have the guys. And sometimes just having the guys can win you a lot of games. So I honestly think that they're in a top 3. They're probably 2 for me.
I think my team still might be better because the defense is so real, and I think it's better than the Lions by a long shot. The
problem is your defense is really good, but if their offense can just stay consistent like they've been doing, besides the one game against you, if they can do that, they're going to be able to do something because your offense doesn't seem to get consistent just doesn't have the consistency in general. They've so far put up a ton of points.
We did the first 2 games. We put up 27 each. 27 is going to be enough to win us most games with our defense.
Theirs was 27, yep, and they did 13, but then they did 52 and then 38. So they have
that's what impresses me is
offense.
We smacked them around. They put up 52 and 38, and we held them to 13.
And that's the thing. If you can just get after Jared Goff, then you can razzle him because he's not the best quarterback, but he's consistent. He's the guy that can go out there and execute the offense, and he doesn't care about his personal stats or whatever, even though he'll walk out of games sometimes with 4 or 5 freaking touchdowns, no picks. So,
But he does also that you're right on the pressure thing. That we've proved when there's pressure, that's when he still has. I mean, a lot of quarterbacks do. Not
Yeah.
there's very few quarterbacks in the NFL outside of. I mean, Lamar Jackson actually had a great game on Monday night. He was 21 to 27 for almost 300 yards, 3 TDs, and it wasn't enough because the defense sucked and Henry can't hold on to the ball all of a sudden, which is the craziest thing.
Yep.
So it's weird. Like, I agree with you. I want to see Jackson get it done, but I feel like he's playing damn near as good as he can get. And there's just a litany of errors around him. And it's like, damn.
Oh,
Like-
don't get me wrong. I think the Ravens
like,
should have won that
damn.
game.
Like,
The fumbles
Harbaugh,
are the reason why they lost.
yeah, that was crazy to me. But the Packers, if they got a receiver, I think we would have the best roster in football with Philly.
I'm
Like,
trying to think of who
if
you
we
guys
could
could go
get
get, and I
one
can't think of one.
number one receiver with the rest of these receivers, because Reed's going to come back, Watson's coming back, Kraft is one more week, and then he's going to be fine. The offensive line, none of it's like season ending. They haven't lost anybody for the year. There's been so many ACLs and injuries out for the season now. Like Connor's out for the year too. That's the other thing. But the Packers could land one number one receiver. I'd put us above Detroit even. I just gotta.
I'm trying to think of who you guys could get. You guys would have to go up after
who's gonna become
AFC, and there's nobody really to go get.
Yeah, other than Tyreek Hill, I'm trying to think of what, like Jordan Addison. Maybe Minnesota makes him available, but that'd
You
be
could
dumb
go
on their
get
part.
Michael Pittman Jr.
I
You
like
could go
him.
get Jerry Judy.
I like him. Actually, that'd be cool. I
Jerry,
feel like
those two would make sense because they're in the AFC, so they'd be willing to be dealt.
trying to think. Denver's not going to get Loca of Cortland Sutton. I'm trying to think.
He's
of a
also
team-
too old. You don't want you want him to be able to be there for at least a few years.
Yeah, Brown's only like 28. He'd be perfect, but Philly's not going to let him go. I mean, unless they
Mhm.
start sucking and he like throws a temper tantrum, but I really don't see it. I'm trying to think of a receiver that might actually become available.
I'm going to
that-
be honest. I know the one you should make the trade for. You probably
I like
wouldn't even
Garrett
have to
Wilson.
put up a first. I think
Who?
you could get 2 seconds and get him. Chris Olave.
That would actually be good if the concussions are behind him. He'd be good enough, honestly. We just need a guy that can get our team with the defense. If the running game can get going and with the tight end, if we just have a guy who's consistent, I think you're going to see. We're going to find out if Love's it. Then there would be no excuses. So
I feel like that's this year. Love doesn't have an excuse anymore. He's got Golden. He's got a lot of guys, and not every year people are going to be healthy. So he's got to at least win a playoff game this year.
True story. All right. Well, hey, everybody, this was fun. I want to get to, we're going to do a top 5 video on quarterbacks and teams.
Yep.
Well, I didn't mean to make it so Packer heavy, but I didn't do a pod and had a lot of thoughts. And there was so much NFL craziness that happened this weekend. That was a freaking blast. I was even enjoying watching the Bills Dolphins game, which was mind boggling that was a watchable, fun game. It was actually pretty good.
Oh, all the
Dolphins-
teams are fun now. The
Yeah,
only
the
team that's
Dolphins-
not is maybe the Titans.
And our boy, Mr. First Down, I'm going to see him tomorrow night, and he wants his coach fired. So it's going to be.
It's already started. He just got hired.
I think they actually need to let him go. He seems to be holding that team back. They've got enough talent. I don't. Do you think he's it?
I think if you lose him, you lose the offensive line coach, which is his dad. Yeah, you're in a lot of trouble. I don't think
I
that's
don't
a
know.
good idea.
It's young. He's young. He's not that long into his tenure, but yeah, I don't like it.
Pretty sure he was just hired.
Last year, right?
I thought it was this year.
No, I think he coached him last year. Hold on. Wait.
I'll look it up right now.
I got you. I thought he coached him. He's 41. He's not the very old.
Callahan.
Yeah, last year too. He's 3-17 is their coach.
Okay.
He was 3-14 last year. That's just starting to get to territory that's not a good look. If he loses a few more, if they're like 0-6, it's like.
Yeah, but if that's the case, then Dave Canales never survives. So I can't say that for Carolina's sake.
True story.
Like, you're going to have to deal with the suck for a little bit, especially with a first pick quarterback. You had the first pick quarterback for a reason.
Do you think Bryce Young's it?
No, I don't think
I don't
he's
either.
not it, though, for Carolina. I think that if he was to leave tomorrow and I was to make him a Los Angeles Ram, I think they might be able to contend for a Super Bowl.
Well,
But-
I mean, yeah, there's a lot like the Rams. I mean, with even McVay, like honestly needed to not coach scared this weekend. They would have beat the Eagles.
I agree, and I think they're one of the top 2 teams, to be honest with you. In my opinion, it's Rams Lions for the Super Bowl. Like one of those 2 teams are going to win it.
Not the Eagles?
No, I think the Eagles will be in it, but I think there's a chance that the Rams defense is so good that they could actually compete with them. It's going to be whose offense can put up points. And an Eagles one, the Eagles could probably do it. I'd really like to see a Lions one, though.
That's why I'm curious on my team. I want to see how they respond to this because I still think they have a chance. Like, I think this might have been the best thing for one of the youngest teams, not the one of the youngest in the NFL to lose a game like this, to learn to not overlook people might have been the best thing for them because when we've seen them at their best defensively and offensively this season, they've shown they can lay the smackdown on some good teams. So I want to see how they respond. This might have been a good loss. I'm going to try to remain positive. I wasn't thinking Super Bowl for my team yet this year anyways. I still think they need a receiver. I think that that's a big piece they're missing. So,
and if that's the case, what do you lose next year? And is losing all those pieces worth waiting for another receiver? Maybe now is the year. Maybe Stephon Diggs trade or something is on the horizon.
I would go for it, man. If there was a team that was willing to let go of a guy that could step in and immediately be our number one, and all these other guys could be in their roles that they're supposed to be in, kind of like Micah Parsons with the rest of the pass rushers, I think you would see an effect on the rest of the roster like you've seen with Micah Parsons. Because look what he's done. I mean, he didn't play that great this Sunday, but our defense sure as frick did. Other than Junkins had a few solid runs, Flacco couldn't get a damn thing going. He had a couple good passes in the fourth.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not saying much. The Browns offense isn't much, but we did the same thing to Jaden Daniels and the Lions. So this weekend isn't going to be much of a test without CeeDee because it's going to be
it's over for them. it's going to be bad.
It's gonna. We need to go just destroy this team. This is the one. Caleb Williams had a great game against Dallas. I'm watching Jordan Love this week.
Oh yeah, I can't wait. I want to see what Micah does and when he tees off. I want to see him just drill Dak Prescott.
Do you think Dak gets hurt? That would be crazy.
No. I hope not. I never wish injury on anybody, but the Cowboys, I feel like, really need a wake up call. But at the same time, this could be ethical, tanking.
What's sad is I think Jerry in his delusional mind still thinks that he's making a good team.
I mean, hey, if you put it into Madden, you might be able to win 6 or 7 games, but that's about it. There's no way this team wins more than 7.
Bet my buddy that they couldn't win 8. And he said he'd just pay me this Sunday if they go to 1-3. I was like, that's probably a good call.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think there's a chance. I think that now they're dying by the Dak contract. Now Jerry Jones will overcorrect for the quarterback, and the saga of the Cowboys is about to get a whole lot worse.
I agree. Everybody, this was fun. We're gonna do a top 5 teams in the NFL right now. This is gonna be fun. I can't wait to compare lists and top 5 quarterbacks. So we will see you guys soon. Please go subscribe to Roll Coverage Pod and Fun Football Podcast. Nick, this was fun, man.
Hell yeah. I appreciate you.